So how has it been for you to move from, I assume that you started your own business because there was a part of you that wanted to be in control over your own destiny. And so how was it to shift into, uh, being in a job within an amazing team, I have to say. I mean, that in itself
Yeah,
must be an incredible experience.
it's
However, but
great.
how was it for you to shift back? Because you mentioned an interesting thing, that steady paycheck. Of course,
Yep.
that is definitely something that is, yeah. But any regrets? Do you miss it? Are you happy where you are now? I mean, of course, you are happy where you are now, but is the part of you missing the entrepreneurial side of life?
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, so I say the steady paycheck, which is certainly a perk, but of course there's pros and cons of everything, right? So like when I first started the business I had launched, which was it was fitness for new moms. So it was for
Yeah.
women who'd had a baby and were trying to get back to just feeling healthy. And, whether it's, I don't want to say it's about losing weight. It was more just about, your body goes through everything when you have a baby. And so
Absolutely.
just kind of like getting your health back. So, uh, and I was a mom of a very young child when I was doing this. That was part of what inspired me because I got really into trail running because I live in mountains and I
Mm,
love to be outdoors. And so I was like, hey, I can make this work for me and have a small child and not have to go, pay for them to be in daycare. And go to an office, and where I live is very expensive because it's a resort community, so the jobs are very limited, and the the things that are available are traditionally like poor pay and seasonal in nature, and just a lot of work if you don't like working face to face with people on vacation, which I do not. It can get old.
yeah.
So, I live in paradise at a cost. So the idea of having something that was totally mine, also just the idea of like, hey, you can grow this and make it whatever you want, and you get to make all the decisions. Like that was all very appealing, and it still
Mm,
is in many ways. I also had to learn, it's a lot of work. If
yeah.
anything, I think I worked more, doing that. Like, granted, and this was before remote work was like really a thing. I mean, even the pandemic has accelerated remote work, but even before the pandemic, like it wasn't that common. It was growing, and certainly in the tech industry and various industries it was, but so I just didn't have a lot of options, and that seemed like a great option. And then ultimately, I actually started working in community part-time, which when I first did it, I told myself, oh, the money I make from this, I'll invest into my business. And then as I was doing it, and it was for it was it was like a late phase tech startup, so it's already pretty big. They had, a couple rounds of funding, but
Yeah.
still kind of the gritty startup mentality. I was just learning so much.
Mm,
And it was just an opportunity. I had the opportunity to then go full time, and then I had the opportunity to be in leadership. And I ultimately decided to focus on that because the learning experience of it was so valuable to me. And I'm so glad I did, because then fast forward 10 years, excuse me, working at
mm,
SPI Media now, which is a small team. We are not a startup, although I would say we operate like one in the sense that we're just kind of gritty, and
mm,
we pivot quickly, and we have that ability because we're in control of our company.
mm.
But it's like the knowledge gained in that decade of working in big communities is priceless, and I'm
Yeah.
I'm really glad I did it. I also think now, if I were to start my own thing again, um, I just have so much more
Mm,
life education in it.
mm.
I think it'd still be hard. I think it's always hard, as much as like things like that are. But yeah, I think it's just what worked for me at the time.